Hello, this is Throttle-On John, just doing some winter car maintenance, which is something we should all do. So this just to help you out. My 4Runner here and our RAV4. Tires lose a little bit of inflation just sitting around. A little bit of air will seep out. It doesn't mean you have a tire issue. So, it's temperature dependent, especially if you're not running nitrogen, which most of us just fill our tires with regular air. So for every so many degrees that your temperature cools, then your tire pressure is going to drop. So for this particular RAV4, this is a 2023. I have my daughter's RAV4 is a 2019. They recommend 35 PSI in OEM stock size tires. And my 4Runner, it recommends 32. And you can look at it in your manual, but you know where else you find that? Let me show you. So all you have to do is look on your door placard. Super easy. There's this little sticker in here, and you come in here and you look, and you can see this says 35 PSI front and rear. Couldn't be easier. All cars have that. So now if you change your tire sizing, then sometimes you have to do something different. And what's really cool is tires have the tire pressure monitor sensor these days, and we can come in here and you can check it through your dash on both of these vehicles. And on the 4Runner, the door placard has it as well. So I come in here, open it up, and then you have the, you can see stock tire sizing here, front and rear, and 32 PSI. So pretty easy. So if in doubt, just check your door placard. And then it's just a matter of making this match up on your car. Making the pressure in your tires match what the door placard says. And this is cold. So what this means is you haven't been driving your car, so this is going to be cold inflation pressure. So before you drive your car, check the air pressure, because pressure generally will go up after you're driving it above the recommended pressure slightly. So this is cold inflation pressure is what the door placard is talking about. So normally at this screen, it would come up and it would have the door pressure here, or excuse me, that tire pressure here. Oh, there it did. It came up, but you have to drive the car a little bit. You can see this is showing 35s all the way around. So that's something that you can do, but you do have to drive the car, I think, above 25 miles per hour before that shows up. And it's really irrelevant because when you check your tire pressure, you're going to do it with your gauge anyway. So here's my daughter's RAV4. We just got some Falcon Wild Peak tires on here. And anyway, I'm just checking the inflation pressure. I checked the front. They just needed a little bit of air. I'm using this little Roby handheld air compressor. This thing is great for just topping off tires. If you needed to really, inflate tires all the time on large SUVs and things, then you'd want a real air compressor, like a something that you plug in and has a air tank on it. But for topping off tires 3, 4, 5, 6 pounds, I use this thing all the time. It's just battery operated, has a trigger, and then it has a air gauge built into it. It's super easy. I use this to top off my 4Runner and all my vehicle tires if they need that. And then why is tire inflation pressure important? Well, for every little bit of inflation pressure that you lose, it can decrease your fuel economy, and you'll wear out your tires quicker. So it's kind of a double whammy. They say that it's not much. It's just a very small percentage per pound. But I've found if I'm low 3 or 4 or 5 pounds, I could lose 1 to 2 miles per gallon pretty easily, even though the calculation suggests that it would be less than that. But that's just my real world experience. Tell me in the comments below, tell me what you've all experienced with if you have low air pressure, what happens. I'd be curious to know what your real world experience is with how many pounds low you are and how it influences your fuel economy. And I've definitely noticed if I'm 3 to 5 pounds low per tire, then I'll notice a drop in 1 to 2 miles per gallon because of the increased rolling resistance. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, when you lose, is the ambient or outside, temperature decreases, then the pressure in your tires are naturally going to drop. So as we move from summer get to winter or fall and winter, then it's cooler outside on the average. So you're going to find that you're going to need to add air to your tires to maintain the same pressure. Likewise, as you move to summer, sometimes you have to actually bleed air out to maintain the right pressure. So anyway, just something to note. That's why winter and fall, you'll notice your tire pressure monitoring system light will come on. Well, it's just a natural loss of air. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with your tire. You'll find that all your tires are running low by about the same pressure, like they're all low by 2 to 4 pounds. That's just a temperature-related loss of air pressure. So just to clarify what I was talking about earlier, if you're checking all your tires and they're all down by like about the same, which is what happened with all these vehicles when I was airing them up, each tire was low by about 2 to 3 or 4 pounds on the, all four. That's a temperature related loss in air. Nothing to be concerned about. Air them up, move on. But if I'm checking all the tires and let's say they're supposed to be at 35, like on this RAV4, and I'm getting 32 in the front right, 32 on the front left, 32 on the back rear, all which is a little low. And then I come over to, let's say, this tire over here, the back left, and it's 20. Okay, maybe there's a puncture with a slow leak or another issue. I mean, it's not a uniform loss from temperature. Something's going on. So what I'll do in that case is I'll air it up and then I'll check it. I will watch it. I will check it. If it keeps losing air faster than the other ones, then man, I'll go to my tire dealer, and have that looked at, because it got a small puncture hole or leak in the bead. Something's going on. So I hope that clarifies what I'm looking for when I'm airing these up. This should be fairly uniform, within reason. But if you have one that's drastically low out of the four, okay, it's definitely warrants, attention. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry to belabor the point, but I just want to be clear on that. So we'll move on to getting these tires inflated. Okay, so here we are. I've done the front too, but I thought I better catch this before I'm done. So it's just a matter of unscrewing your valve stem. Sometimes I'll put a kneeling pad down so I don't have to squat so much. So you remove your valve stem cap. This little Roby is super easy. You're just going to put this on here and push this down and it locks on. Hit the trigger, it wakes up the pressure. Oh, this, what would you know? This one's perfect. Okay, 35, 35.5 is fine. That's in the 35 range. So, yeah, we're done with that. Not probably the best one to show you. Let's move to the back rear and we'll look at that. And put the valve cap on. Snug, but doesn't have to be crazy tight. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing over here. And we'll see what this is. I like this little air compressor because it has a gauge built into it. So I just hit the trigger, wake it up. Oh, what do you know? 34. So we're just going to depress our trigger. And I'm not associated with Roby in any way. I just have used this thing a ton. And so when you're squeezing it, it's going to be pushing air in the tire, so the pressure is going to go up. So you have to release the trigger and then let it equalize before you know what the pressure is. So I'll squeeze the trigger, and it's bump it up to 36. I release and let it level out. I'm looking for 35. There's 35. I could stop there, but when I pull this off, I'll probably lose a little. So I like to go to 35.5. Okay, perfect. So then I just release this off, and the beauty of this is now you're going to know you're going to be getting the best fuel economy that you can, and your tires are going to wear better having the proper inflation pressure. A little plug for these Wild Peak tires, AT Trails. They have been great. Grip really good. They're quiet. I was running the BFG's TAKOs on here, and they were fine, and I put almost 40,000 miles on there with them. And towards the end, they were getting pretty noisy. So anyway, that's just a sidestep. But I love those tires. I've used TAKO tires on a bunch of trucks and pickups, so not trying to hate on those. Just for the RAV4, I think these Wild Peaks are a really nice application. All right, so hope this helps. Get out there, inflate your tires, If you need an air compressor, get one. And that's something easy that we can all do. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like and subscribe if you're so inclined, and wish you all the best.